Just one drop of your love, a single ray of sun, just one thing to change the world. It's just you and me, starting with a dream and giving it all we've got. Only takes one drop, only takes one drop, only takes one drop, only takes one drop. I need you and you need me. We can do anything together. Just one drop of your love, a single ray of sun, just one thing to change the world. It's just you and me, starting with a dream and giving it all we've got. Only takes one drop, only takes one drop, only takes one drop.
And welcome to our AGM this morning. My name is Colin Raymond. I'm the chair of Asian Aid, and on behalf of all our directors, the management and staff, I'd like to welcome you on this cold, wintry morning. Thank you for making the effort to come and be present. We also want to thank those who are joining us online. I believe there are a few who are joining us online this morning for the AGM. Warm welcome to all. Now, I've been told that we have, can you hear me okay? Yep. I've been told that we have a quorum, and so therefore I declare the meeting open. Now, if you're a member of Asian Aid, and whether you're present here or you're present online, if you'd like to make a comment or raise any questions, please feel free to do so. You can do that via our Facebook page, or just drop us an email at contact@asianaid.org.au, and then we'll get the questions and we'll handle those towards the end on our agenda. So I invite you to do that, and those who are present at the time, we'll be inviting you to also join in. I'd like to invite Ange, who's going to come forward, who's going to share with us this morning's prayer as we open, to invite the Lord to be with us as we start our meeting.
Opening prayer.
Thank you everyone for being here. I have been with Asian Aid we were just talking about outside, this is my second AGM. I just started last year, like right before all of the craziness of that time. So this past year I feel like I've had a really great opportunity to see firsthand what this team does, and a little bit more insight now into what actually goes into this. So it's so much work, and I just wanted to say that we posted about this on just asking people to pray for this event. And even though we do all of this work, one of the things that is great to remember is that if we commit this to the Lord, then we will be successful. And I think that's, we might be panicked about a security guard not being able to open the door for us, or if we have the right slides, but I think ultimately we just have to kind of let it go. So I'm going to pray in that regard today. Dear Heavenly Father, as we're about to kick off this AGM, I ask you to please just put your blessings all over this. Please help us to remember that as long as we commit things to you, this work that Asian Aid does to allow children to have and be able to reach their God-given potential, ultimately it's in your hands. And if we work remembering that, then our work will be successful. Thank you so much, and please bless everybody who will be presenting today. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Resolution 1. Resolution 1, 2024 AGM minutes.
Yeah, thanks, Ange. Thanks, Colin. Thank you guys for all making it out in the wild weather. I'm glad you're here safely. And so, yeah, I have some apologies that were sent through. Alan Fletcher, who's one of our board members, as well as Nadine Brody, Lorena Hassani, and Yvonne Chapman have said that they would have liked to have been here but couldn't be here. So at present, Asian Aid has 97 members who were able to vote, and I hope all of you were able to access the online portal to do the voting. Sorry, I think I'm... and as per those votes, I can actually say that the AGM minutes from the 2024 meeting have now been resolved.
Board chairman.
Board Chair's remarks.
Just pause to give the children an opportunity to participate. As you'll notice as we go through our AGM, we've got lots of kids taking part, and we want to acknowledge their part in this as well. So it's a great pleasure for me to be here today. Thank you very much once again for taking the time to be here, for those who are present and those who are online. Really appreciate your strong commitment and willingness to work together with Asian Aid in addressing the many important challenges that we are facing these days. I want to keep my remarks brief. I'm really speaking to you today on behalf of the Asian Aid Board of Directors. And as Ange has pointed out, I think the very first step that I want to take is to thank the Lord, thank our Heavenly Father foremost for his faithful leading and abundant blessing to enable us to continue the ministry and the work that we do as Asian Aid. So he's blessed us and continually with the resources that we've needed, and we are so thankful to him for having led us. We also give thanks to our dedicated and passionate and compassionate, capable team who serve with humility and excellence. You can see these, some of them sitting around you. We also want to acknowledge our in-country partners whose tireless efforts ensure that real and lasting change is actually reaching those at the coalface, those who are at the heart of those communities. And to you, our supporters, our sponsors, our volunteers, and donors, for your unwavering generosity, commitment, and loyalty to Asian Aid. Thank you. As we reflect on this past year, one truth remains at the centre of all that we do, and that's our unwavering belief that every child deserves to be safe and healthy, to receive an education, and to grow up in a nurturing and empowered community. And at Asian Aid, we believe that every child has God-given potential, and we're committed to helping them realise it. Thank you for your continued support. You'll hear as we go through the agenda how we've been able to make a tangible and lasting impact on the lives of children, families across India, Bangladesh and Nepal. This year also marked a new chapter as we began supporting vulnerable children and families here in Australia through funds that were raised through our Give Hope op shop in Wauchope. And again, there'll be some warming stories to hear of the impact that has had. Through our education, health and livelihood programs, you've helped us empower young lives daily. You've helped children learn about their rights, protected them from child marriage, from trafficking, from exploitation, and more importantly, given them hope. And we've noticed some really just countless moments of transformation, like a young child learning to read their first book, a young adult completing their tertiary studies, a community accessing free health care and education, a grandmother being freed from the shame of uterine prolapse, a teacher gaining new tools to be able to support her students, even an adult learning how to read and write for their first time, write their name for the very first time, a family launching a small business, a girl leaving a menstrual hut so that she's able to attend school. All these impacts we've seen, all these moments, they really stand because of a network of compassionate individuals like yourselves who have supported them and who believe in our call, as found in Micah 6 verse 8, it says to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Together, we've become the hands and feet of Jesus in a hurting world. And as we look ahead, we're filled with expectation and hope. We're excited about the opportunities to expand our programs, strengthen our partnerships, and amplify the voices of the young people we serve. So the road is long, but we're not alone. With God's guidance and your continued support, we will go further still. So on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank you for walking with us on this mission, on this journey, and together we're building a brighter future, one child at a time. So as chairman, I'd like to I certainly appreciate the work of our board and our staff, how they've explored how to better serve children, families and communities. And it brings me delight to see their commitment to both our programs and to you as the supporters. So at this point, I'd like to introduce to you our amazing team who actually do the work. And I'd just like to pause. I think there's a little introduction by one of our children here. Should be? Or has that gone by?
Asian 18.
Okay. So maybe if I can invite you to stand up. So Tammy, Joanna, Bruna, Paul, you can, whilst they're still standing up. Ange, Sharon, Linda, James.
And Tian.
Oh,
She's
Tian's
gone.
out the back. I thought it was one person missing, plus yourself as well, plus Inika. So here we have our team who are very diligent and are working very hard daily, on a daily basis with us. So we thank you and we want to acknowledge your contribution. Thank you so much. Thank you. So while I've done that, I would also like to just spend a few moments highlighting two special staff members who we'd like to acknowledge at this time and for their many years of service to Asian Aid. So to make that acknowledgement, I'd like to invite David to come forward and to do the honours. He's walking in the wrong direction. Sorry. Ah.
Sorry, folks, it's a long way round. Look, it gives me great pleasure to call Joanna Ryan forward. This is a 5-year service recognition for Joanna. So thank you very much for your service. So I've got a bit to say, all right? So Joanna commenced working with Asian Aid in 2019 in the role of Programs Coordinator and later in her current shared role with Tammy as Programs Manager. Joanna brings sound knowledge of the development industry with in excess of 15 years experience in the sector. Over Joanna's period of service with Asian Aid, her responsibilities have included developing and maintaining, you need to tell me. Okay. Yeah, fact check it. Developing and maintaining close relationships with our overseas program partners, child development strategic planning and initiatives, working directly with in-country partners engaged in direct child sponsorship and child-focused development programs through joint development of project proposals, reporting frameworks, design and implementation of projects. How am I going? Pretty good? Okay. Development and implementation of monitoring, evaluation and learning framework, reporting tools and facilitation of online and in-country partner training workshops. Working collaboratively with co-program manager Tammy and Moore's Legal in the development and implementation of risk management and anti-fraud and corruption policies and frameworks. Joanna's calm and friendly nature is reflected in her everyday interactions with others. Joanna's honest and respectful relationship building skill set is exceptional and holds her in very high esteem with her international and domestic teammates. While incredibly calm under pressure, Jo has a wonderful sense of humour that helps others to keep it real and in perspective when times are tough. So Joanna, we really appreciate your work over the last 5 years, 6 years, and we have something to give you. So, thank you so much for watching. But you know, above all the staff at Asian Aid What they do for people's lives and influencing people's lives and giving them a better life is just exceptional. Tammy, you're next, Tammy. In fact, I might reverse it. Yeah, Tammy, I'm going to give this to you first, all right? So you can stand there with, that's a gift from all of us. Thank you. All right. So Tammy, this is celebrating Tammy's 5-year service from 2019 in the role of Programs Coordinator and later in her current shared role of Programs Manager alongside Joanna. However, we'd like to acknowledge Tammy's involvement with an Asian Aid, which initially began through her development program internship placement in India, Bangladesh and Nepal over a 2-year period in 2012. So that's what, 13 years involvement of Asian Aid?
Yeah,
Or is
so.
it a bit
Yeah.
before that as well?
Well, I think I started sponsoring. My mum helped me to sponsor my first child before that, so it's been a long time. Yeah. Yeah.
However, we'd like to acknowledge Tammy's involvement, as I said, from 2012. Tammy later commenced employment with Asian Aid here in Australia with primary focus on child development programs prior to beginning her family with husband Josh.
Yep.
And returning to the team in 2019 in the role of Program Coordinator and later in the shared role with Joanna as Programs Manager. Over Tammy's period of service, her responsibilities have included developing and maintaining close relationships with our overseas program partners, child development strategic planning and initiatives, working directly with in-country partners engaged in direct child sponsorship and child-focused development programs through joint development of project proposals, reporting frameworks, design and implementation of projects. Contributions in setting up program monitoring, evaluation and learning reporting frameworks, including facilitation of online and in-country partner training workshops. Tammy has been instrumental in the development and implementation of child safeguarding, and I know that's very dear to your heart. It's very dear to our hearts as well, to make sure that children are safe. Okay. Working collaboratively with co-program manager Joanna and Moores Legal in the development and implementation of risk management. Tammy brings deep conceptualisation and development skills as well as sound knowledge of the development industry and project cycle. She brings a quiet and orderly sense of calm to our team and program partners, underpinned by her passion to support the growth of community-based programs where children can thrive. So thank you very much.
Is this back on again? Yep. So thank you for Joanna and Tammy's contribution and commitment to Asian Aid for over that period of time. Well, we have 2 other staff members who even served longer that we would like to acknowledge today, and I'd like to invite Kay to come forward and invite them to come up.
So first of all, we are going to travel overseas. We have a special lady who works for us in country. And I think the addition of this young lady to our team has been such a blessing, because having somebody who's really there, in touch with it all the time, is just beautiful. On both of these slides, I'm going to draw one of the particular pictures to you, and there's a bit of a theme going here. Look at the picture on the left. What is it that strikes you about the picture on the left?
Colours.
Paint, colour,
colours.
a bit of a splash. I think if you work in Asia, you have to be prepared to have a bit of paint, a bit of a splash, a bit of colour, and stay in all sorts of accommodation in overseas countries. But Pudens, we would like to acknowledge you, and I'll try and speak to the camera because Pudens can't be with us. She lives in country. So here we go. Pudens commenced work with Asian Aid in 2015 in the role of Communications and Social Media Officer, and later in the role of Communications and Marketing Coordinator. Pudens is based in India and works directly with our in-country partners. And that means the people that work in India or the other countries, but yeah, in particular in India, working with those people as the front line of our strategic program initiatives. Her responsibilities include collecting project impact reporting. So that means photos. We love photos. I love seeing photos in the magazines, and Putin's took them. This is Putin's joy. She does child wellbeing checks, annual photographs, and artwork shared back with our supporters. I love my artwork as a sponsor. She conducts interviews with partners, schools, and community program participants regarding the local impacts of Asian aid projects. And when we read those in the newsletter, don't we, as I do, and you see what an impact we are making, Putin's is the lady that tells those stories, and you see her name in the newsletter. Her creative content is in our annual report and in the response newsletters. Facilities partner training is also part of her role, and I think that's really important to have somebody who understands and lives the culture and is able to carry that through. So we say thank you to Putin's. Putin's brings a can-do attitude, highly developed creative and time management skills, solid knowledge about Asian aid initiatives, and a calm presence to the team that's necessary, valued, and appreciated by all. So Putin's, thank you for your passion and commitment to Asian aid. We thank you. Amen? Amen. All right. Now we have some more paint. Inika, darling, please come and stand beside me. Can you see the paint in this picture? Yes? The paint.
Middle one.
The middle one, up the top. Yes, I do. She's gone. Oh, ta-da! Surprise. Thank you. There we go. And hold this and stay here. That's it. And they're going to get the camera. I think that seeing Inika's face in the place of our dear Karen at the front is really special for us. When we heard that Karen was going to retire, I wondered, who's going to be our Karen? And not that Inika is a Karen, but she is so special. And as it says at the end of what I'm about to say, we as board members find her to be excellent. And that's really important to us. Let me read the words. Inika commenced working with Asian Aid in 2015. Very good year. In the role of Supporter Services Coordinator, and later in her current role of Supporter Engagement Manager, with additional responsibilities now as the Asian Aid Company Secretary, following in Karen's footsteps. Yes. Over Inika's period of service to Asian Aid, her responsibilities have included being the primary contact for all of the Asian Aid events, including big camps throughout Australia and New Zealand, where her responsibilities include creating marketing, branding, and promotional materials, dressing up those tents, making them look fabulous to attract people's attention, going on school chapel visits, seen a picture up there, pop-up shops, school and church presentations here in Australia, conducting interviews with our in-country program partners, child participants to share with our supporters about the children and communities they support. Inika is well known as Asian Aid's Company Secretary, working directly with our Board of Directors and CEO in providing strategic guidance and support to organisational compliance of Asian Aid, ensuring legislative requirements are upheld with governing bodies such as the Australian Government, ACFID, and ACNC. Inika also brings a can-do attitude. There's a bit of a theme, can-do attitude, highly developed creative and time management skills, solid knowledge about Asian Aid, initiative, fun, and patience to the team that is highly valued, with an outside the box, solutions-focused mindset. Inika is a real asset to Asian Aid. The support and guidance Inika provides to our board of directors is exceptional. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Inika.
Our board. Our board.
Just before we do that, I just want to acknowledge Joanna and Tammy and Inika and Prudence for your contribution to Asian Aid over the many long years. Appreciate it, and we pray that it will continue for years to come in terms of your work here with us. Thank you. While we're doing introductions, a quick run around for the board members. There's a few of us here today present. There's Robert. Maybe Robert, just give us a wave or stand up. Thank you. There's David, Kay, and myself. There's a few other directors, but they've passed on their apologies. I believe Alan was going to be joining us online. I'm not too sure if he is or not. I'm not too sure how I can tell. But Alan Fletcher is also joining us online. The others you can see there. If you get a chance to run into them, please say hi. And we also appreciate their contributions to Asian Aid. I'll just like now to hand over to Inika to guide us through the resolution for the directors' appointments according to our constitution. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, we went a bit off script there. The run sheet didn't have a few slides there, so thank you for that, team. So yeah, in line with the Asian Aid's constitution, directors' positions are held for a 3-year period, and so some come up for renewal at different times. And this year we actually have Brooke Sutton, who was up for reappointment, and she has actually decided not to be eligible to be reappointed. And we also have Alan Fletcher, who has done a 3-year term, and he has actually made himself available for reappointment. So that's just a bit of the background.
Yeah,
for those.
thanks, Inika. Brooke, as you can see, she's decided to retire and not stand for renomination. With the increased commitment for her work and her very young family, you've got two very young children, she's unfortunately not in a position to continue to effectively carry out her director's duties. So she's sadly put in her retirement notice, which will be effective as at the end of the meeting. Now, Brooke was appointed in November 2019, and she served as a director for around 6 years. Her background in social work was helpful to our organisation, and we thank Brooke for her contribution and her commitment to our cause. So therefore, given her retirement, we shall now deal with the appointment of the 2 new directors, or reappointment of directors, I should say. I'd like to invite Inika to discuss the resolutions.
Resolution 2.
Yeah, thank you. So as I said, our next resolution actually relates to Alan, and he has expressed his willingness to be reappointed, which is great because he's an asset to have on the board. And so I can say that because of the voting that it is resolved that Alan will be remaining on the board as a director until the 2028 annual general meeting.
Okay, thank you. Alan, I'm not too sure if you're online. I'd like to pass the congratulations on to you. Thank you for being able to stand once again for the renomination. Look forward to your continued participation and contribution on the board. With Brooke's retirement, we now have a vacancy on the board of directors, and the search process was undertaken to identify candidates who would bring value and expertise to the role of director. We approached Lynelle Cobban. Now, some of you may know her already. She's expressed a willingness to serve, to be nominated. For some of you, she may be new. So maybe just a little bit background about Lynelle. She has a Master's in Education in Educational Curriculum. And she's worked as a teacher, as an administrator, curriculum designer, developer, project manager, writer, editor, teacher, trainer. She spent pretty much all her adult career in Adventist education and also associated with church ministries. So she loves finding creative solutions to challenges and thinks of diverse and practical ways to connect and grow people. And we spoke to her, she said, you know, she really sees the hope and support to those in need as a privilege, as an honour to be able to do that. And she sees it as a way of reflecting Jesus' heart and being his hands and his feet. So As a board, we thought Linnell would be a good addition to our team, and I'd like to pass over to Inika now to share the results of the resolution for the appointment of a new director.
Resolution 3.
Resolution 3.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we were very excited that Linnell has decided to be up for appointment, and it is resolved that yes, Linnell will be joining our board for the next 3-year period to the 2028 annual general meeting. So exciting.
Yeah, so congratulations to Linnell as well. She couldn't be here today at such short notice, so welcome. We're excited to have her join us, and so through to the next AGM 2028, sorry, these two directors will be serving. Thank you. I'd like to invite Linda now to come forward to share with us a prayer over the board and to ask God to give his wisdom and guidance over each of the directors and also as a board as a whole. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Colin. Let's join together this morning and pray over our board. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for this day of gathering together. This morning, we lift up our board members to you. We're so thankful for the gifts you have put in their hands and how they use these for your glory. Thank you for the wisdom they share and the guidance they give. Thank you for the dedicated service each member gives to Asian Aid. We pray a blessing over each board member. For Brooke, as she steps away, bless her in everything she puts her hand to in the season ahead. For Linnell, as she joins the team, we pray your hand will be upon her also. And for each and every board member, we ask your presence would be known to them. Bless their families, their homes, and their work as they give of themselves. May they know that their service is very much a part of the impact through the work of Asian Aid. Thank you, Lord, again for your blessings upon each board member. And we pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for love and prayer. At this juncture, I'd like to call upon Paul Paul and the rest of the team throughout to share with us this past year's journey on the impact of our work as well as the financial results for the 2024-25 financial year. Over to you.
CEO's report.
And thank you, children, for my introduction. Yeah, that's not hard. Do every day with this amazing team. But thank you for the welcome, and I'd just like to share a little bit of what we've been up to the last year, and also what our partners have been up to. Just myself and all of us, you'll hear from each of us as we go through some of the work that we've done. But I'd just like to thank the amazing people that I work with. We've seen the celebrations, it's really good. I've been here for 6 years and I've enjoyed every moment of it. We've had some great people to work with, and you can see here the impact that through your support, we as a team and our partners have been able to help facilitate. So thank you for that. And thanks everyone for the work that you do. It's just awesome. Also, I'd like to thank the board. You've seen the board earlier. We've got a few here. Their support has been excellent. The dedication and the commitment they give us has been so valuable. They're all volunteers and their time is given to us in their time. So they've helped direct us and guide us in the things that you've seen here today. So we as a team would like to thank the board for what you've done for us. So thank you. So over the past 12 months, 18 months, we've been working a little bit on our strategy, and we just wanted to let you know that we've got to a point where we've shared it with the board. We've signed off on our 5-year strategy, and we'll be sharing a little bit about that today, but also as we go through the items that we've got to tick off over the next 5 years. We've got lots of actions and key areas that we want to deliver, and we'll share those with you as we go through. But some of the key areas we've set up like 4 themed pillars, and those pillars are, the first one is champion our organisational identity. and improve holistic outcomes for children, and inspire increasing donor support and engagement. The fourth one is to proactively drive organisational change. So, and while they're just 4 pillars under there, there's lots of amazing actions and items that we are excited about engaging in as a team over the next few years, and you'll see little bits of those come up as we go through. So our vision and our mission, our vision is all children, families and their communities are empowered, protected and have full access to their rights. And our mission is to enable their families and communities to reach their God-given potential through child-focused programs that foster sustainable positive change. And that was also the basis for building our strategy, coming back to our vision and mission as a checkpoint as we went through that. So where we work, this is the 4 countries that we work in. We've got 7 partners, and some of the exciting news that we will share and have been working on. I think last year we shared in our growth strategy, we were looking at joining a new partnership in Cambodia, and we'd like to share with you this year that we have embarked on a new partnership in Cambodia, and it's supporting the night care program for little ones. And you may have seen a little bit of that being communicated, but this year, so Cambodia is on the map for us this year, and it's been a lot of work and working together with a new partner, and it's an exciting program. So look out for more of that. And also in this section here, while we're here as a team, we have partners in country, and of those 7 partners, there's amazing team members in those partners. And we work with them closely, and you'll see bits and pieces of them around, but they enable the work to happen in country, and they're excellent people to work with, and we just like to thank them for that work. Our timeline. Well, there's been some huge milestones on this timeline, and firstly, we were established in 1966 with Maisie Fook, and we share this timeline with you, and joined not long later with Helen Eager in 1968. So through that roadmap, there's lots of milestones that have happened. More recently, you've heard about our op shop, Give Hope Today in Wauchope. You'll hear more about that with Sharon later and Tian. And also, 2025, we started our new partnership with Cambodia. And if next year is 26, that will be our 60th anniversary. So next year, we'll be celebrating a 60th anniversary. So keep that date. You'll hear more about that. So it's a huge milestone to celebrate the people on this roadmap and the children that have been supported, and the impact that your generosity has helped change lives across that journey. So we'd like to celebrate that next year. And Bruna's going to come up and talk through our communications section and some of the event that's been happening and the exciting things that have been happening there. You may have met Bruna as member of our board, or even previously in her time with Asian Aid, but we're very fortunate to have Bruna as our communications and marketing manager, and she'll share the next section with you today. So thanks, Bruna.
Kids light up with joy when we receive gifts. Our eyes sparkle, our faces glow. We jump, clap and laugh. We feel loved. The gifts you buy today will lift kids out of poverty and help them reach their God-given potential. Through these life-changing gifts of hope, you'll empower vulnerable kids to be safe, educated, healthy and nurtured. Some of the life-changing gifts you can give are hygiene packs, eyeglasses, new mums care packs, emergency care, and books. We've chosen the gifts with help from our partners to ensure each gift helps kids and their families the most. So give a gift of hope today and lift a child out of poverty.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Paul. Whether you're here in person or joining us online, we're very excited that you're with us today. I have the privilege of representing the Marketing, Communication and Supporter Engagement team, which is made up of Inika, Tien, Anjali and Pudence. As you heard, Pudence works from overseas, all capable, hardworking, committed and passionate people. We share together in one of the most fulfilling roles at AsianAid. We tell stories of hope and transformation, and we do our best to help our supporters have an enriching and meaningful experience. And in so doing, we are reminded of you, the AsianAid supporters, who live out your life in outrageous generosity, in unwavering commitment, and in heartfelt compassion, so that little ones, the kids and families we support, can reach their God-given potential. Yes, we tell the stories, but they are your stories, and they're always so positive and inspiring. Since 1966, children have been at the heart of AsianAid. We've always been a child-focused organization. But this year, we wanted to make sure that they were front of mind in our communications too. We launched a number of new initiatives designed to not just to talk about the children, but to make sure that they are the face and voice of the AsianAid mission. I'll briefly highlight 3 of those. First, in November, we launched the Kids Gifts of Hope catalog, featuring 20 life-changing gifts that help children lift out of poverty and their families. Each of the gifts came to life through child quotes and illustrations, and we made sure that there was a spread in the middle of the gift catalog of coloring in, so that the children in our lives could start the journey of learning too. It is a useful, child-friendly resource that we see using for a number of years. Second, the response newsletter. So if you receive the newsletter, you might have noticed that there is now a kids section in the response newsletter. This is a creative educational section for kids and kids at heart, with word searches, coloring in, puzzles, and dot-to-dot art. We intend for it to spark conversations about compassion and service with the children, grandchildren, and other little ones in our lives. And third, we introduced a content series that we called Kid Talk, Little Voices, Big Ideas. Through questions and short videos, this series gives children a platform to be heard and seen, celebrating their uniqueness, their insight, their view of the world, because we believe not just speaking for the children, but with the children. While we've been intentional in hearing children in our communications, you have been faithful in making sure that they're safe, educated, healthy, and empowered, that they have hope. This year, you sponsored 2,839 children with 77 new sponsorship. You supported 461 projects through monthly regular giving, and you were generous through 3 major campaigns: the Kindred Sisters in June, the Bangladesh Disaster Relief in October, and the Kids Gifts of Hope in December. Because of your generosity, children can access quality education. Children, their families can access free health and health education. Parents, teachers, and communities can have the resources they need to best support their children. Ultimately, so that children can believe in a future where they're safe, supported, and thriving. You were generous with your feedback too. Through our first supporter engagement survey, we learned that you support AsianAid because you live out your faith in service to others. You want to live of your faith in service to others. And because you believe in the power of education to break cycles of poverty, so do we. You partner with AsianAid because you value our Christ-centered mission, our transparency in using your funds to make the biggest impact together, and our focus on children and education. And this is big. 94% of you said you would recommend AsianAid to others. That level of trust means everything. This year, you've also been generous with your time, prayers, and encouragement. Whether it's praying for the kids or our team, organizing fundraisers, inviting us to schools or churches, including us in your will, engaging on social media, or simply sending an email of encouragement. Your partnership fuels our purpose. Thank you. What we also value just as much is our partnership with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. In helping children, we're not alone. As a supporting ministry of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we're proud to provide opportunities for our church community in Australia and New Zealand to learn, to serve, to help. We're active in churches, schools, retirement villages, and camps. Thousands read our response newsletter every quarter. Our staff participate through a live segment on Faith FM every quarter, Faith FM radio station. This is an Australian Union conference initiative every quarter. And we continue to partner with Adventist business entities such as Science Publishing. And overseas, we seek to work with partners who also share our Christian philosophy. This year, we are particularly grateful to the 72 churches and 16 schools that either sponsored children, supported projects, or welcomed us into their communities. One standout from the period under review, the Women's Ministries of North New South Wales Conference, who partnered with us to help children in Cambodia's red light districts so that they don't face horrors no child ever should. This is the kind of ministry, partnership, and hope in action that we seek to strengthen and expand, because in so doing, even more little ones can get hope. As we look into the future and talking about a sustainable approach to the future, we know that we need to engage with a new generation of supporters now. Younger people want two key things when they choose a charity to trust: a meaningful social media presence and experiences that connect them to causes that matter to them. With this in mind, we have intensified, if you like, our social media digital communications. Last year alone, we posted more than 500 reels, stories, impact updates, Bible verses, reaching close to 70,000 people and gaining 166 new followers in our Facebook and Instagram communities. And we're building experiences too, starting work last year, but later this year, 10 university students will embark on a hope venture in Nepal as Asian Aid young influencers, not ambassadors, influencers is the word now. There they will meet children, visit projects, and see what hope in action looks like. We know that when they return, they will have a renewed sense of mission and purpose, the beginning, if you like, of their journey with Asian Aid. We also hope that as they join the workplace, as teachers, ministers, nurses, business professionals, they will continue to support Asian Aid. We all know collectively that once you have this experience, it tends to become a bit of a lifelong passion and a lifelong calling. So talking about special callings, thanks to volunteers and funds from our Hope Op Shop in Wauchope, that calling is starting to make a difference in children and families in the local community too. So with that in mind, I would like to introduce you to Sharon McKay, our Human Resources Manager, who is also our Op Shop Manager. Sharon will share more about the exciting things that are happening through this new local expression of hope. So before I go, thank you again for every prayer, every dollar, every word of encouragement. Together we're giving hope to some of the most vulnerable children in the world, and there is no better mission than that.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Bruna. I'm Sharon. I'd like to share a little bit with you about the Give Hope Today Op Shop, the support that and commitment that our volunteer team give, which have enabled the local community outreach here in Australia. So we have a team of 25 that give their time and their skill sets in support of our community outreach, with a mix of retirees and young people. Our team often express joy in being part of a team who really desire to serve others, experiencing new friendships and a sense of belonging in the team. They also say that they love having a purpose and being able to give back. Many volunteers also support multiple community programs each week in addition to ours, and they're willing, as you can see, to do whatever it takes to lighten the load of others. I personally feel very blessed and privileged to work alongside such beautiful human beings. Their altruistic natures are reflected in their hard work to make our shop beautifully welcoming to the families who walk through our doors. On any given day, you'll hear from people whose story can sometimes really render you speechless. but together we find ways to help out or connect them to others that are better suited towards a specific need. We formed friendships with other local op shops within Port Macquarie, Wauchope and surrounding areas, and we're finding a deep sense of community in sharing experiences and learnings together with them. After all, we're all doing the same thing. Okay. And also our team was very, very proud to get 2 local awards this year for the shop's presentation and environment. They're very, very proud of their shop. Okay, so let's have a glance at numbers, just if I can direct you to the screen. So I mentioned earlier we've a team of 25 and they range from ages 14 to 19 years young, which goes to show that there's a place for everyone. The support of our volunteers has enabled us to raise $55,976 with in excess of 13,000 items sold. Okay, our customers have a natural interest in the local community outreach that we are purposed there for, but also they've got a growing interest in who AsianAid are and what we do internationally. For this reason, we have an area in the shop where we share program information of our international programs and we sell handicrafts made by the women participating in AsianAid's livelihood training. In a few moments, I'm going to introduce you to Tian, who will share some of the local community partnerships that we support through the op shop. But before I do, can I share a text with you that's really fitting with the service of others? And it's found in Matthew 25:35. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. Here Jesus emphasises caring for the poor and the vulnerable in practical and loving ways, and tells us that acts of compassion towards others are also acts of compassion toward him. In serving others, we serve him. What a privilege, hey? Service is what life's all about, isn't it? With this in mind, I'd like to take this opportunity also on behalf of AsianAid staff and directors to express our gratitude to a number of people. So the team at Hillview Op Shop, and hi Sue, she's here today from the Op Shop at Hillview. They've been an absolutely tremendous support in sharing their expertise with us from the start-up of the shop, and for their continued support in gifting us the bulk of our stock. We appreciate the support that you provide and the lovingly donated goods from the Hillview and surrounding community members. So thank you. And also thank you to the Lord Howe Island team, who also supply us with lovingly donated goods from their community as well. Thank you. And last but not least, a big, big hearty thank you to all our beautiful Give Hope volunteer team. We seriously can't do it without them, and they're the feet on the ground. They're passionately giving back to our local community, and I like to think of them as Jesus in disguise. They're very good at what they do, and they're driven with very beautiful, big, open hearts. So now I'd like to call on Tian. She's AsianAid's engagement coordinator. This is the beautiful lady that's behind the cheery voice on the phone, and you may have sighted her at a few AsianAid events, school chapels and big camps around our country. Now what's special about Tian is, she'll whack me for this, Tian's got a natural ability in connecting with others for the good of others. She's been instrumental in networking and the facilitation of the local community outreach programs through our op shop. So thank you, Tian.
Thank you and good morning. And yes, it is true. For those that know me, I do enjoy to chat and to meet people. It's something I do love very much. And so this morning I do have the privilege of sharing how our little op shop in Wauchope has connected with some of our other local initiatives, so that when people say to us, oh, what do you do in Australia? We can actually say, well, we do this and we do this, and we can show. So as part of supporting locally within Port Macquarie and Wauchope, our little op shop donated to Liberty House in Port Macquarie. And that's a safe home for women and children that have been impacted by domestic violence. So we were able to give a donation to there. We also donated money to the ADRA soup van. And so we purchased all of their tables and chairs for their weekly soup van that operates within Wauchope community. And what that has done is by now having tables and chairs, people are inclined to stay and eat their meal and sit together and talk. And it's formed a really beautiful little sense of community within the town of Wauchope. And on any given week, there can be anywhere up to 80 people that sit around and talk and have a conversation and meet the needs of really often lonely and homeless people. So that's been a really big blessing. We have also partnered with Make a Difference, known locally in our area as the Mad Van. And at the back of the op shop, we now have a cute little green food van. And in partnership with our op shop, they now serve a breakfast meal once a week on a Thursday morning. You can see that little glow green caravan there. And so they are able to support another avenue for people living in the Wauchope community that are struggling with finding meals, and that happens on a Thursday morning. Last year, our volunteers in the op shop knew that I was visiting India for my first time, and they knew that we were going to one of our special schools over there, the blind school. And during that visit to the blind school, it became fairly apparent that many of their pieces of equipment and learning tools were very outdated and in desperate need of extra resources for the growing numbers in the school. And so when we returned from our trip, because I knew a lot of the volunteers, I spoke to them about our trip, and they had said, oh, look, we would really like to donate to that school. And so our little op shop was able to purchase 10 Daisy players, 20 Sony players, which are digital talking equipment that assists children that have a vision impairment with their everyday learning. And then we were able to also purchase 82 jumpers to keep them warm over the winter. So these are just some of the great parts of what our little shop does locally. It's a blessing and a privilege to be part of that, and an honour to work with Shari and the team at our shop. So if you are ever in Wauchope, please do call by and say hello. Sorry, I would like to call up Linda and Paul for the finance report now.
Financial and auditors report.
Thanks, Tian. Really appreciate that. And you can see the op shop is really making quite a nice little impact and connection in the community. So it's really nice to see. All right, well, being part of this team, we have the responsibility of ensuring all the donations that we receive are spent and looked after in a way that ensures we are being ethical with the generosity of our supporters. And we would like to share that with you today on how we go about that. So our financials this year, they run from April 24 through to March 25. And the information that we'll talk through today is covering that period. One of the operational organisational values that we adhere to is believe in good stewardship. And this requires us to be transparent in what we do, accountable in our actions, honest in our dealings, and also cost effective in our operations. So I'd like to just share that information with you today. Also, being a registered organisation, we have a lot of compliance requirements that we need to meet. And as we heard earlier, we are registered with ACNC, and that's the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission. And they're our national regulator, which we need to comply to every year. We also are a member of ACFID, the Australian Council for International Development. And this is a voluntary registration, but this helps us drive for continuous improvement and also deliver best practice in our programs. And I'd just like to introduce you to Linda. Linda is our Programs Finance Coordinator. Been working closely with our partners for 4 years and does an awesome job communicating with them and ensuring the finances we receive from our donors managed within Asian Aid, transferred to our partners, and also used where it should be used within the programs that are set with Joanna and Tammy. So Linda's going to share that with you, and she's doing an amazing job with our partners.
Thank you, Paul. What a privilege it is to work alongside Paul in the area of finance, and also Tammy and Joanna in programs as we manage the funding that goes to our partners. As you can see in the presentation, the distribution of the generous donations we receive are allocated as shown. Our accountability and administration is 11%, fundraising costs represents 12%, and a total 77% of funds are being utilised within our programs. This incorporates the international programs of 58%, domestic program of 1%, program costs at 16%, and bequest reserve spend of 2%. This means that a total of 77 cents of every donated dollar is spent directly within our partner programs in each of the countries and areas they work within, helping children and families in need. Through the ACFID body of members, the average program spend across all, for a comparison, is 66%. So we feel honoured to see that Asian Aid's funding distribution is well above the ACFID industry average. Moving over to the sponsorship by region graph on the right-hand side, the distribution of funds into our sponsorship program is utilised in the following proportions, being India, 41%, Nepal, 15%, and Bangladesh, 32%. And then we also have donors giving to multiple sponsorship regions of 12%. Thank you. I will now hand back to Paul for the remainder of the financial report.
Thank you, Linda. It's been so good to work with Linda. She's got all the information at hand, and when you need it, she'll just have it there, whether it's from the partners or from us. She loves the numbers, which is good. Helps me. So the auditors report, you'll see North Corp, they've been our auditors for the last 7 years, and they have to audit our reports every year. And this is just their independent declaration. You'll find the full information and their statements in the annual report, but that's just indicating that they have been our auditor. They're independent to Asian Aid, and they've also provided a lot of support, and we'd like to thank Elaine and Reese. They come in every year and work through our financials, so thank you for that. All right, this is a little small, I know, and it's the numbers piece, so, you know, everyone's so interested anyway, and so it's there. I don't know why everyone makes the numbers so small. The creative people, leave it for me to read, so no, it's all good. We love the numbers, and so I'm just going to read through the profit and loss and balance sheet piece. This is in the annual report because it is small and there's a lot of information here, and that's why it's hard to fit up here on the screen. So we just wanted to highlight this year in 2025, our total revenue this year was $3,244,000. Our total expenses this year were $3,161,000, and that resulted in a surplus of $26,500 this year. So within that, there is a lot of different breakdowns on what made up that monies, and a lot of those is from the generosity and support of our donors. And we've received $2,724,000 in donations this year. That's the first line there in the numbers. And bequest and other income, $278,000, and investment income, $241,000. And so in the operational expenses that Linda's just shown you in the graph form, our international program spend and program spend together is we've had $1,826,000 and $509,000 in our program spend, and that's represented in the graph that Linda's just shared, and our other expenses there lined up, resulting in our net surplus. From a balance sheet perspective, we have cash on hand of $1,029,000 and some receivables of $11,000. Our non-current assets are $4,327,000. You'll see there's $3,265,000 in financial assets, and this is a managed fund that we have invested with Perpetual, and those funds are utilised through the capital growth or also the investment income to support the programs that we have in country. And the property, $1,662,000, and that's made up of the office at Wauchope and also the op shop that's purchased in Wauchope. So from a liabilities perspective, we have $141,000 and non-current $43,000, so total liabilities of $185,000. So this is a net assets of $5,184,257. So you can see from that result that AsianAid is in a financial position and that we've been able to support the programs and maintain a good balance sheet and solid balance sheet for the future of this organisation, and to support the programs and the children for another 60 years. So thank you for that. I'd just like to highlight in part of this section here, we do have something that we touch on a little bit, is the bequest income that we receive and the bequest reserves. And we'd just like to note that by including AsianAid in their will, our supporters make a very powerful impact beyond their lifetime, often enabling larger gifts and bigger impact than might be possible during their life. This is deeply personal legacy that speaks to our supporters and what matters most to them. Beyond the emotional reward, bequests offer such practical benefits to the children, families and communities that we support. At AsianAid, we're honoured to receive such gifts and are committed to using them to enable the best for the children, families and the communities. And during this period that we're talking about, we received 3 bequests to a value of $222,000. And those funds have been utilised and used to support the capital works in India on the children's homes. And so each year, Tammy and Joanna will work with the partners on different items of high need, and we then analyse those and support those programs through the bequest funds on as needs and high needs basis. So thank you to all the support that we've received and the bequest funds that have been given to AsianAid across the years. So up next, we'd like to share a video with you on how your contribution makes a personal difference to individuals in country, not just today, but into the future. The person that's going to share their story is Shiny, and a number of us have met Shiny. But it's not just one person, Shiny, whose life's been changed. Many people have been changed. But this is just an example of the impact that your generosity has actually made in country to the people who support the kids, not just today, but right through their generations.
Today is the first time I've ever visited this beautiful speech and hearing school in Colagill. Is that right?
Yes.
And we were talking over lunch, and Shiny was just telling me a bit of her story, and I asked if it would be okay to share it and for you to tell us, which I think would be far more important and meaningful. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shiny, and I'm a teacher. I work with deaf children, and this work that I'm doing with the deaf children I'm enjoying, but this takes me always back to my childhood, and I want to say that I'm so grateful for what the sponsorship is doing to children, and I'm here to tell what sponsorship has done to me. And when I was very little, I was 12 years old when I registered into the sponsorship program, and I finished my education through, and I finished my college, and now I work as an educator. And what here I wanted to say is the sponsorship turned my life so beautiful, which I have never imagined. Most of all, it helped me to love Jesus, and I want to say thank you to my sponsors. Most of all, I remember their name, and I very precious to me is their letter that they sent me once, and I'm so grateful to them. I just want them to know that what they have done, their sacrifice is so fruitful. What they have sacrificed for me has given me a life, a new meaning to my life, and in turn I'm giving back in the form of working with these deaf children. So not a day goes by that I don't remember them. I always remember them, and I thank God for sending them as a guardian angel in my life. I believe that, and I want them to know I'm married. I have 2 beautiful boys who are grown up, and the second one is small. But I want them to know I'm happy. I have a happy family, and I have a wonderful work which I enjoy, and I thank God above all.
That is so special. Thank you so much, Shiny, for sharing. And we're going to return to Australia and do our very best to find your sponsor from 20 years ago.
Yes.
And see if we can pass on this message to them, because I know that it will give them so much joy and fulfillment that they were able to give you a good start.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
That would be great. It will be amazing for me to know that they get to know that how I'm doing now.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Resolution 4.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul and Linda, for the financial report and that beautiful video from Shiny. I guess now we get to actually see the voting on those financial from the 2024-25 period, which I can actually let you know that have all been resolved. So thank you for that.
Programs report. Program report.
Yeah, I'd like now to invite Tammy and Joanna, who you've already met, which was lovely, to bring us the programs report. And these two powerhouses lead our programs team, as you heard, and get to share all the exciting news with us from our partners overseas. So thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks, Sinuka, and good morning, everyone. At Asian Aid, children are central to everything we do. We know that children are so valued and loved by God. In Matthew chapter 19, verse 14, it says, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." We want every child to reach their God-given potential. This means making sure children are empowered, protected, and have full access to their rights. We want children to grow, participate, play, and learn and thrive in a safe and nurturing environment. Through education, health, and livelihood programs and activities, Asian Aid is making that a reality for many children. We are helping children to be safe, healthy, educated, and empowered. We'd love to share with you some of the ways, through your support, the lives of children, their families, and communities have been impacted through our programs in the past year. So, access to quality education for children lays the foundation for lifelong learning, which leads to better health and employment outcomes overall. When a child is educated, they can improve their own circumstances and break the cycle of poverty. They can improve outcomes not just for themselves, but also for their family and their community. With your support over the past year, AsianAid has sponsored 2,839 children across India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. A further 1,227 children are engaged in child-focused school projects. Each of these children are being given the opportunity to access quality education, which is foundational in their development. We have seen the ripple effect of a child being educated, as many of our previously sponsored children have gone on to get meaningful work and to support their families and make a tangible difference in the communities and beyond. Our after-school programs, in addition to improving children's foundational learning in English and maths, also support children in their personal development. They cover life skills, awareness of personal hygiene and safety, and provide opportunities for leadership development. Children play an important role in motivating other children and community members to participate in project initiatives. For example, our after-school clubs provide a space for children to meet together and explore ways to serve their community. One example is a child club in Bangladesh that provided Eid food packages for Muslim children and their families who are in need. The children demonstrated empathy as well as promoting cultural respect within their community. Bristi, a child club member in Bangladesh, said, "At child club meetings, we learn how to respect parents and teachers. We are learning how we can keep our bodies clean. We try to keep these things in our minds." In the past year, 114 schools have been supported through tuition and resource programs. The video that you can see playing here shows children at a rural school in Nepal learning through interactive play. The teachers at the school had recently attended a workshop on child-friendly teaching methods. They learnt how to develop their own resources with limited materials. And as you can see, their classrooms are now vibrant and colourful, full of pictures and interactive resources, allowing for peer-led learning and better educational outcomes. Providing children with a holistic education that includes cultural awareness and opportunities in music, drama, and arts programs is so important. The video playing here shows a pottery class in central India, where children are learning new skills and getting the opportunity to be creative and explore different artistic mediums. The man that you can see in the video is a local artisan who offered to share his skills with the students. Dance and drama programs are used to teach children about their cultural heritage, as well as to raise awareness on important issues in their communities. Children will perform dramas on key issues such as saying no to child marriage or the importance of caring for the environment. Engaging children in these types of activities is an important and powerful way to help them to grow and learn. Kamola, a parent of an AsianAid-sponsored child at one of our Adventist schools in Bangladesh, says, "Thank you for nurturing our child's love for learning. The dedication of the teachers and staff is commendable. Our child feels safe and is getting support at this school."
As you can see on the picture here, digital literacy is not only important for children, but with skills in this area opening up significant opportunities for them in their future. Many children at our remote AsianAid supported schools and projects are first-generation learners with limited hands-on experience using computers or digital learning tools. In this reporting year, AsianAid partner programs facilitated tailored digital literacy programs for 126 children using resources purchased and installed in AsianAid supported schools and also through the Computer on Wheels program. This program transports laptops on tuk-tuks to remote village communities surrounding AsianAid schools, Adventist schools, and facilitates digital literacy lessons with village communities within the community, allowing children who attend the local government schools to access the resources and participate in digital learning programs. The digital literacy training includes lessons for teachers, with sessions focused on becoming accustomed to system applications and typing practice. In the past reporting year, the training has encouraged teachers to integrate these tools into their classrooms and daily teaching practice, resulting in more engaging and interactive lessons for the students. This initiative also aligns with broader educational trends, preparing both teachers and students for a future where digital competency is essential. You'll hear Joanna and I talk about health and livelihood as two other themes that AsianAid partner programs support, but I did want to reiterate that education is the primary spend that we do in our program areas. Partners have started to integrate health and livelihood initiatives into their programs in order to break down barriers to education. So you'll hear us talk about the three areas, but education is the largest thing that we do. So in health, we have playing sports helps children to stay fit, learn social and leadership skills, and be less likely to engage in risky activities. This past year, our partner sports programs have created safe spaces for children to express themselves and to form supportive friendships. In the images included here, you can see students participating in school-based sports program and enjoying off-site excursions to learn new skills, such as swimming and water safety. A particular focus of AsianAid partner programs is the meaningful participation of girls in learning and extracurricular programs. You can see here two all-girls football teams, one team in Nepal and one team in in India, where the girls involved are provided with uniforms, equipment, training and opportunities to play against other teams in their linked communities. Mahima, one of our sponsored children from India, who has participated in our sports program, said, "I liked the session very much. Today I had fun playing football, but at the same time I understood that I need to think more positively about school and not see studying as something boring but essential." Which we can all understand that. Another student in Bangladesh said, "The sports days are good because we get to learn games and have fun. I like it because usually I just mix with community people I already know, but on sports days I can do it with different students and I can share things with other students about the game, and we are learning but in a fun way. How great is it that sport can be used as a tool to make learning fun and interactive for children and also provide health benefits." School health camps are an important way to check the health and wellbeing of children who may not have other access to medical care. Through our supported school health camps this year, 10,655 children have been treated. The health issues children were treated for included anemia, malnutrition, rheumatic heart disease, ear infections and childhood eye diseases and conditions. Treatments included providing medicines, iron and calcium treatments, referrals to local healthcare facilities, and providing prescription glasses to 203 children. By detecting these illnesses early and providing appropriate treatment, children can stay healthy and have strong bodies and minds for learning. As you can see in the video here, children are not only the recipients of healthcare, but they are also integral in helping with the logistics of the health camps. These older children are taking the blood pressure and height and weight measurements of the younger children and recording the information for the doctors and nurses. This gives children new responsibilities and skills to develop their confidence and helps with the smooth running of the camps. In the reporting period, AsianAid partner women's health clinics reached 4,424 adolescent girls and mothers, promoting safer pregnancies and addressing reproductive health conditions, including pelvic organ prolapse and cervical cancer. Rather than managing their pregnancies at home, mothers attending the clinics were able to access professional medical support, leading to better outcomes for them and their babies. Through donor support, AsianAid was able to purchase a portable ultrasonography machine, allowing for partner medical staff to perform ultrasound imaging in remote settings. Darla, a woman who had prolapse surgery through the project, said, "Even though I can speak and express myself, I could not speak about my problem with anyone. I was shy, I was scared, I was uncertain. Thank you for being my voice and helping me get relief from this huge burden I was carrying." The video displayed here shows Dr. Angela Basnet, the Chief Medical Officer for the Shear Memorial Adventist Hospital, facilitating a tour of one of the clinics from March this year. In addition to the provision of direct healthcare clinics and services, AsianAid Partners remained active in raising community awareness on the right to healthcare for adolescent girls and women. This was delivered through partners visiting families in their homes, running awareness sessions in schools, and through facilitating health seminars within the program communities. Topics included menstrual hygiene and management, nutritional needs during adolescence and pregnancy, the early signs of pelvic conditions, and support to break societal stigmas around female health, including the use of menstrual huts. In the reporting period, AsianAid Partners trained 384 medical professionals in areas such as menstrual health, family planning, prenatal and postnatal care, and adolescent-friendly healthcare services. When reflecting on the awareness sessions that they were involved in, Mihira from Bangladesh said, "I used old cloths to manage my periods, which led to many health problems. But today I learned new and safe techniques for maintaining hygiene, even while using old cloths properly. This knowledge will truly help me stay healthier." These AsianAid partner initiatives empowered women and girls with knowledge, awareness, and the confidence to take charge of their own health and their right to health care.
With the child at the centre of everything we do at AsianAid, we know that supporting and educating the child's family is essential for ensuring the well-being of the child. For a child to be cared for, the family needs to have the knowledge and the resources to do this well. That is why livelihood training is a central component of the work that we do. In the reporting year, 1,382 people participated in livelihood training. The focus of the training varied depending on the location and aspirations and needs of the target community. Some of the topics covered included agricultural techniques, goat rearing, tailoring courses, handicraft training, and poultry raising. Training in financial management, entrepreneurship, and adult literacy further equipped parents and community members with the skills they needed to be able to start income-generating activities. Sumi, one of the training participants from Bangladesh, said, "I'm very happy to work with this project because my daughter is getting many benefits and so am I. I am very happy to get chickens and training on raising chickens. Because of this, I can afford food and education for my daughter." Sumi goes on to say, "Poultry rearing is a simple and easy way to create income. It gives women, children, and adolescent girls from poor families nutritious, diversified, and affordable diets." The benefit of livelihood training is clearly seen when parents learn skills that enable them to generate income and then use the profits to provide for the needs of their family and to educate their children. Kitchen gardens are a beautiful initiative that helps families to create home gardens to grow vegetables and herbs, improving daily nutrition and reducing food costs. When a family has surplus produce, this can be sold locally for an additional income. In one of our projects in rural Nepal, children were given specific training and the primary responsibility for the kitchen garden. This video showing here shows one of our sponsored girls proudly showing us her kitchen garden when we visited her home earlier this year. The garden was healthy and lush, with lots of seasonal vegetables and fruits growing. The girl used some of the income that she generated by selling the vegetables to purchase her own school supplies. Through our project, children and their families were also given chickens to raise. The video shows one of the sponsored boys with his chickens, which he was diligently caring for and settling inside his home for the evening. The boy was very protective of his chickens and very proud of them. And once he was sure that we weren't going to take them away, he was very excited to explain how he cared for them and looked after them each day. Like the kitchen gardens, chickens can help improve family nutrition, food security, and can provide additional income for children and their families. So I'd love to share the story of Yasmin, who's a young woman who lives in a rural village in northern Bangladesh. Growing up, Yasmin was the youngest in a family with 11 children. So she had 5 older brothers and 5 older sisters. And despite her dedication to her studies, financial hardship meant that she had to drop out of school once she completed grade 7. and Yasmin was then forced to get married when she turned 15 years old. So Yasmin now has a child of her own, and along with her husband, she continues to live with her parents and siblings in a large and often struggling household. Yasmin joined one of our community cell groups run by AsianAid's partner organisation. She wanted to find a way to support her family and to use her time in a meaningful way. Through this group, she learned about the opportunity to join a 1-month tailoring training program, and Yasmin was really excited about this prospect. Yasmin, she was a very committed and attentive student. She attended every session and worked really hard. And Yasmin started to have a dream of owning her own sewing machine and starting her own business. But despite her determination, she wasn't able to save enough money to purchase a second-hand sewing machine, which is around $60 Australian. She was able to save $40, and so the project stepped in and contributed the remaining $20. With her sewing machine, Yasmin began mending clothes for her family. And as her confidence and skills grew, Yasmin started taking orders from her neighbours and other community members. She now has a regular monthly income. It's not only supporting herself, but is contributing to her family's income. Yasmin will be able to give her child the opportunities that she never had. Yasmin says, "I'm overjoyed to have this opportunity. This new chapter of my life feels like a dream come true. I'm so thankful to the project and the donors who made this transformation possible."
Okay, so during AsianAid's monitoring trip to India late last year in November, the team got to spend time with the women and girls who were engaged with one of our Adventist schools to learn about the handicraft activity that they were being trained in. So in this video, the women are creating bag charms ready for the women's ministry promotional events here in Australia, and a few have happened already. They also made these handicrafts to sell in their local community as a form of income generation. This was the first round of training that the women and girls had participated in, and they are looking to refine the products that they sell. Our team are working with them to determine what handicrafts will be popular in Australia and to sell in our op shop, and it was encouraging to see what they had learned to date. And we have a few examples here of what they made. So Joanna's just got some in the bag here. We thought we might give these away to people who have been listening very closely this morning. I know it's quite cosy and warm in here, so we might be a little bit sleepy, but we'll see how you go. So I have 3 questions about the livelihood program that we have. So first question, can anybody name 2 different livelihood activities that AsianAid facilitates? I can give you clues if we're all stuck. You can yell out from where you're sitting. Yep, go for it. Oh, clue. I should actually write that down, shouldn't I? We're all wearing something that would benefit from this livelihood activity.
Sewing machines.
Sewing machines, yeah. So we've got tailoring is one of them. And then chickens. Yep, absolutely, yep. So if you'd like to, would you like to hand one out? We'd like to show you what they've made. So basically it's examples of what's been made, yeah. They're saying, yep. Okay, so next question. How many people participated in the livelihood training in this reporting year? This is a tricky one. So was it, out of these 3 numbers, 258, 746 or 1,382? Fantastic. Okay, well done. Excellent. The front row. Yeah. Okay, so final question for this morning. How many family kitchen gardens were established in the reporting year? So was it 1,860, 3,050 or 5,380? 1,000, a little bit higher than that. The second option. We give it half the bag, that's it. We'll give a discount. Oh, beautiful. We have quite a number in the bag, so please take one today to have a look at it. They've done a beautiful job making these. So as we reflect on the past year, we are so encouraged to see the work that has been done and the lives that have been changed. What we have shared are just a few examples of the numerous ways that AsianAid is making a positive difference in the lives of children, their families and their communities. In Matthew 25 verse 40 it states, "And the King will answer them, 'Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for me.'" This verse emphasises the importance of caring for those in need and how acts of service towards them are seen as acts of service towards Jesus himself. Thank you for partnering with us to do this important work.
GNA.
Well, thank you to Amy and Joanna and Paul and Bruna and the whole team, really. It's been great. Have you noticed today how every member of the team has participated, which is really great. Good to see. So we've got to a time where we're now just going to open it up for some questions and answers. Do you have any comments, any questions that you'd like to ask of the team? Here we go. Linda, just in front of you. Thank you. Nice and loud so we can hear you.
Oh, yes. How many times a year do the teams go, and how big are the teams? Oh, like the Asian AIDS people from Australia, the teams go when they go to India. Oh, sorry, wherever they go.
Yeah, thanks, Kay. Good question. It depends on what's happening in that year, but generally we travel, or the programs team travel, and in March or in November, and we've landed on those months because of the weather in country. I have happened to travel in June, and I did take a blue shirt, and it looked like I ran through a sprinkler. So we do probably travel in March and November. The team members who go, it depends on the purpose of the trip and whether it's the monitoring or and we have a combination though of programs, communication, marketing, just to collate that information and share the experience. Yeah, so on where we travel though, we don't go to every country on every trip. So it's more focused. The next trip coming up is in India, and it's 2 weeks in India just to spend time with our partners there. And so it could be like Nepal, focusing on those partners, or India, or a combination. We've had the privilege of also having some board members attend as well, and so that's been really good to have the board experience and also share the experience together.
Okay. Any other questions, please?
Established in Cambodia. How do you find your partners? Have you got any permanent staff on the ground? It's not an easy thing to establish a program in a new country.
Yeah, thanks, John. It's a good question. Joanna's taken the lead on establishing this partner, so I think Joanna's probably the best one to chat to the how.
Yeah, so establishing a new partner is a long process. We do have a set criteria that we require our partners to meet those criteria for us to engage in that partnership. And to do that, there's initial conversations, there's looking at all their policies and what they have in place. It's a visit to the country, and so we'll go and see the projects they're doing. It's lots of conversations to go, do we actually align in terms of our values, in terms of our practice? Is the partner child-focused, and are they willing to, I guess, comply with all our sort of requirements, which is important because that's looking at their financial accountability, how they manage their programs. And so for this one, it was one of our in-country partners who used to work with the previous partner had gone, and so we'd heard about the work of this particular organisation. We actually visited, they run projects in a few different places. We visited the work in Bangladesh and then in Cambodia. We were really impressed with the team on the ground in Cambodia. They just had really high quality people, very passionate about their work, very child focused. And so we're like, yeah, we think we can continue that partnership. So we went through, it was lots of paperwork and just checking boxes, but making sure, yes, we're aligned. And it's been a really exciting partnership, I think, to go. It's a bit of a niche. They're working with children of women who work in prostitution, and these children don't have a safe space to be at night, and so they're providing that safe space. And so if you think about the most vulnerable children, these children, 0 to 5-year-olds, are definitely up there. And so I think most people who hear about it go, yep, that's like it does. Yeah, it's an absolute need. And so it's been a real privilege to work that journey with them and to build that partnership. And we look forward to that continuing for many years.
Yes, another question. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Do they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So the organisation is called Saving Moses. And so the project in Cambodia is specifically on the night care for little ones. They do that in a couple of other countries as well. They also work in sort of children with malnutrition and health area as well in a few other places. But we've specifically gone partnering with the team in Cambodia on the ground and building the relationship with them.
Thank you. Another question? Please.
Yep, Greg Irvine, long-time supporter from my family. Just wondering whether or not, as an organisation that supports Asian Aid at our church at Waitara, is it possible to contact previously sponsored children that have finished education? We would like to be able to contact them if that is at all possible.
Yeah, it's thanks, Greg. It's a good question, and it's a question that many supporters do ask us about, and it's one of those areas depending on the age, but I'll let Bruna talk to that a little bit, and hopefully we can cover that off for you.
Thank you for your long-term support. I've been at Waitara a couple of times to talk about Asian Aid a few years back. You guys have been supporters for a long, long time. This has been, it's a sensitive, I'll just say it's a sensitive area at the moment, and one that's front of mind for the team. Following COVID, there was a review of our child safety safeguarding, I want to say, but also how much information we were sharing and are sharing at the moment with the sponsors about their sponsored kids. That was in part to comply with Australian regulations, but I want to say that it was most importantly in part so that we ensure the safety and privacy of the kids. I think that's front of mind. So we're the supporter engagement, and I mentioned that a little bit. I'm going around before I get to answer the question. The supporter engagement that I mentioned before, one of the key things out of that supporter engagement was also this feeling of from supporters that they're not receiving as much communication around their sponsored kids. So there's two layers to the question that you ask. One is around now adults, so kids who might have gone through our program and been sponsored, who might now be adults. So what kind of relationship can happen there and what kind of communication? But also the question around the kids that we've got within our program. So in 2022, impact reports came about. That was the attempt from Asian Aid to do both things, to balance a desire for sponsors to have a meaningful communication from their children with safeguarding regulations. And those impact reports provide one piece of new information around the child every time. So there's two pieces of information that go out in a year. The idea was that we can build some knowledge around the child for the sponsor that way. Look, we understand that that was a shift, and we heard that loud and clear from the supporter survey. The sponsors felt that there was less information that they were receiving around their child, and it's something that we're looking at now and hoping to use modern technology, if you like, so potentially a new website soon to make sure that maybe we provide more meaningful information to sponsors around their sponsored child. And I'm not sure that I completely addressed your question. But with children that are now adults, our practice is to leave it up to the child who is now an adult. So we do provide, if sponsors are contacting us for a child that's no longer as part of our program and they're an adult, we do tend, if we are still in contact with that adult now, I don't want to call them children anymore, to say that the sponsor wants to be in contact, but leaving it with them. Anything else from the programs? Yeah.
Just as a follow-up to that, the information that we get from the children, we get a card and a letter each year. That's fine. It's the adult ones that we want to deal with, the ones that we've sponsored all the way through to tertiary that are now out of the program, and that those are the ones that are providing the interest and the means to promote Asian Aid at church.
Yeah, yeah. And those, I guess, are the ones that we would seek to see if we've got still we can get in contact with, and certainly we can have that conversation with the adult children now, the adults now. Yeah. So we can certainly look into that. Yeah, we did. It required a bit of digging but we did find, and they received that video. So yeah, so that would have been very special for them. Yeah, these stories that come full circle, it's, you know, that impact that Asian Aid has, that you as supporters have on the life of the children, those full circle stories is where really the magic is. And it's a little, like, as a comms marketing person, it's a shame that there are restrictions, but those restrictions are to ensure the safety and privacy of kids. We live in such a digitally connected world that even basic information can put a child at risk, which is a shame. Lynn.
That people who have sponsored want to know if, like ourselves, we've sponsored right through tertiary education. Then you lose the contact because, yes, they're adults and they've gone on with their life. And that's great. We'd just like to know what it is they're doing. And I know that's hard from your end to get all that knowledge, but it would be really nice to know.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this because we're having this conversation right now. These are live conversations within the team at the moment around how do we how can we better exit the program? So when a child finishes, what that look like, and how do we work with partners and use technology, if you like, to be able to capture some of that vital information. I want to say the breadth and width of the program as well, and I'm looking to the programs girls, is so vast that just being able to capture that vital information is not as simple as it sounds, and it's not often, it's not for lack of attempt either from us or our partner teams as well. So duly noted, and it's a live conversation for the team. Yeah, we know there is a problem there, and are doing our best to try and address it. Yeah, so absolutely. So we know about the Waitara Church, so we will have a look through our database and see if we can match. But if there is any other, by no means, when sponsors are coming to us and asking that question, we would like to be in a position to be proactive with it. But when people are coming to us, we tend to take that case by case, and if we can connect, we make that connection. Yeah.
I just want to say that I have a success story like that. You know, we sponsored a young girl through Sunshine Orphanage for many, many years, and I think now she is head of some medical area over at Loma Linda. But how we got in touch was because it was in Helen Eager's days, and through Facebook. You know, she wrote to, and I'm on Facebook, so that was just another way, you know, through Facebook. And so now I see photos of her family and her children growing up and graduating, and it's so nice that it's happened. So, you know, I know it's difficult, but I feel really blessed that I've been able to, just through Facebook and contacting with other people, you know, in Asian Aid, that it's worked like that. Yeah, so it's good.
I think Kay in the front.
Child chose to go on Facebook and communicated with me. So I didn't choose beyond education, but once she'd finished university. And so it is a great joy to me to see her having babies, and she puts, and so we only communicate perhaps once a year, but to see that communication through Facebook, but I did not continue it, but she chose to. And so that was a great joy.
Yeah.
One more question there, please, Linda. Thank you. John?
Just a question through Paul. Paul, you and I had a fairly in-depth conversation a few months ago about how we can guarantee that our agents and partners in these countries can be able to maintain the spiritual ethos and belief structures that propel us. Has it progressed at all? It was a fairly complex conversation we had.
Yeah, John, good question. And part of being a Christian organisation and working in the countries we work in, we are challenged every program, every visit with, I guess, the risk of being proselytising, Christianity, having worship with the children. These things get challenged every day. And even in our values, one of those is we believe in Jesus, and that value in itself needs to be, and we get feedback from our partners, our website even, the content can be restrictive because if their regulating bodies look at their website or connect to us, this can have challenges with our registration or our partners' registrations in country. So to manage that, yeah, we still have to be conscious of it. We work with our partners. We as a team actually in our strategy have a section in there to work on how do we continue to partner with or communicate with our partners in this area, because it's an ongoing challenge every day. So is it solved? No, it's not solved, but it's something we work on and consciously have a discussion about it. And in the next 6 to 12 months, we will be even escalating or working closer with that and the partners. Yeah, and it is a challenge because we want to continue the work that we do, and we don't want authorities to just close us out. And our partners in country, they're doing an amazing work, and where they can have books and celebrate their Christianity, they do, but there's times when that's restricted as well. But and even the partner, the Cambodian partner, you know, they're all part of the checklist piece that we go through is to ensure that we're aligned on our values at our partnership level as well.
Yeah. Okay. Just one more question. Yep.
Yeah, so there's been talk in the various reports about building up the supporter base, particularly in churches, and of course Greg's mentioned Waitara, where I'm from as well. But I just wondered how many other churches share. Like I think Greg's nominated as our Asian Aid representative at Waitara, and I just wondered. I think was it 97 churches was mentioned as being. Yeah, anyway, so there's quite a few churches, and I assume is that across Australia or North New South Wales? Or, but anyway, I'm sure there's more churches that could be either better supporters or any supporter of Asian Aid, and as a supported ministry of the church officially, I just wondered, like I know you guys are pretty spread pretty thin. You get around the churches when you can, but what possibility is there of appointing more representatives like Greg and providing them with promotional packages, PowerPoints, etc.?
So, great question. Do we want to be more in churches? Absolutely, yes. We're currently have got partnership with 76 churches. That looks different depending on what church we're talking about. Some churches might have what you'd call an Asian Aid representative that we communicate with. Other churches have got a live program with us, so they might be sponsoring a child or supporting a project. Over the past 12 months, we've done our best when we've got important things to communicate to actually have a communication stream, if you like, to these churches where we're providing, if we've got a new project that we're onboarding, we're providing some resources, like you mentioned, PowerPoint presentation or a link to a video, or even bulletin announcements that churches can put into their bulletins. It would be great if there was an Asian Aid representative in most churches. These 76 churches are around the country. There is more accumulation, if you like, around North New South Wales and sort of Greater Sydney conferences, but there are churches throughout the whole of Australia. This is the challenge. The challenge is around resourcing to what we would like to do. We would very much like to mobilize the supporters in churches and have them be the face and voice of Asian Aid. How we go about doing that is where the challenge is. It's a team of 11. One of us is in India, and most of us are part-timers. And this is another conversation that we had as part of our strategy development. Very much would like to be in more churches and in more schools in particular. And if we get a request from a church, we certainly do our best to make sure that we can supply that request and do something with that request. If you have any ideas as to how we can do that with other churches, we're certainly all ears. We are very much, it's a space that we're very much interested in to do a little bit more in. Yeah.
Well, I think one way to try is each one of us individually, wherever we are, whenever we're in our churches or in our communities, take the opportunity to promote, take the opportunity to let people know about Asian Aid and what the impact that's having on people's lives. I certainly do that at church when we get the chance, and so encourage each one of you to do that. You don't officially have to have a position, you don't need to be nominated, but get out there and do it. Yeah. Any other questions before we close this segment? We'll just ask Linda to bring the microphone around.
For T, that was your first visit into where we work. What was the impact on you personally of what you saw and the need that you saw?
Oh, thank you. Well, my background is I'm a learning support teacher. And so I feel like someone handed me the greatest gift of seeing firsthand what our money does overseas. And to work in the special schools would be a dream come true for me. And just to see, to meet Shiny in person and to meet some of the staff that just love those children and are providing incredible opportunities for education was, incredibly meaningful. Just rewatching the video of Shiny, it was hard not to get teary because they really are very committed, dedicated, passionate human beings that are giving back every day within their school context. So probably Paul had warned me. He said, if I take you to India, you probably won't want to go anywhere else again. And he knew that I would be really deeply moved by the need of what I saw, but also by the genuine love and compassion that the staff are gifting to the children on an everyday basis. It wasn't something that was put on because we happened to be there for an hour visit. It was something that was just, innate in their giving back to the children that they love so much. So, yes, it will be something that I will cherish and treasure forever and hope to get back there another time. It inspired me enough that I said I'm going to go back and relearn my sign language, which I learnt at university, so that when I go next time I can be fluent in talking with the kids. Because, while you can do the basics and do the hello and the few gestures, it would be really nice to be able to speak with the kids. So that's my goal for the next trip. Thank you.
The op shop, how integral has that op shop become in the community at Warhope?
Thank you, David. Wow, very integral. We have many, many people that walk in, just want to connect with us in any way they can and get involved. And it's not just our local community as well. Tian, you might want to sort of talk about a couple of the people who have approached us. What sort of people?
So I guess what I'm asking is, how much is the op shop established in the local community?
Good question. Sorry. Yeah, we won the award. Oh, dear. It's a bit hard to answer, really.
We're one of we're one of 6 op shops in Wauchope. It's a little community of op shops. It's quite well known. If you come to Wauchope to visit one, you'll end up seeing all of them. Our little op shop has a different feel because it does feel quite boutiquey, but it also feels incredibly warm and welcoming. So anyone who walks in the door just instantly says, this is so different. This just has a different flavour. I think it's nice because within the local community, the op shop is probably the face of Asian Aid in a way, because our office is so removed from the town. We're up the bigger hill. People don't often know what Asian Aid is, but they're certainly getting to know about us through the presence of our little shop on the main street in the thick of other businesses and other op shops. So, yeah.
Okay, the award was like a bit of a fun thing, but as I said, the ladies are very proud of their shop and what they offer. You know, when people come in, they're always going above and beyond what they can do to support them. But the award was about the presentation and the environment when people do come in. Like I say, there's things that just sort of off the cuff, you know, we help out where we can, just purely giving people things and connecting them. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it's a bit cheeky, but we've had a number of volunteers who they do work in other op shops, and some decided to stay and do a couple of days a week with us. So they just love it so much. And the team, yeah, it's a bit tongue in cheek there, but yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Hope you've been inspired and to hear and challenged to be able to go from here with the message of what Asian Aid does and how we help people, and how both locally and internationally the reach is there. So to close, we're getting close to the closing. I'm just keeping an eye on the time. We'd just like to close with a word of prayer. This prayer is a very special one by a little girl called Zia, who's Putin's little daughter. So maybe just bow your heads as we pray, as we play the pre-recorded prayer that she's prepared for us.
Dear God, thank you for today and for bringing all of us together. Thank you for Asian Aid and for friends who help in India, Nepal, Bangladesh and Cambodia. Take care of all the children and families in Asian Aid's care and help them be happy and safe. We also remember Uncle Jacob. Please take care of his family. Bless all the staff of Big Team, all the kind people who help. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. So we've come to the end of our agenda. I'd like to just adjourn the meeting now. And if you want to hang around, there is some light refreshments if you want to join. And please, yes, just catch up with us. And we'd like to thank you once again for joining us. And for those online, thank you for watching, and we'll say goodbye for now. Also,
Thank you.